Do you need a cheaper coding assistant that doesn't cost much but deliver high quality coding results? DeepSeek version 3 might be the answer. This open source model is one of the best for coding right now. Sure, the previous version wasn't on the same level as the Sonnet 3.5 or even the GPT-4o, but lately that seems to have changed with the release of the DeepSeek version 3. In the next few minutes, I am putting it to a test on a real-world coding project I am working on using a free API, and we will see if it can actually boost my productivity and stand up against well-established model like the Sonnet 3.5 new. So let's dive in. Let's take a quick look to the benchmark of this model. First of all, there is two benchmarks for coding that's high quality and 100% trusted. The first one is LiveBench. You can go there and you can select coding average, click on it, and it will automatically sort from best to worst model. Usually, I didn't see DeepSeek at the first 10 models. That's for starter. The version 2.5 actually is down there. It's far below behind the Grok 2. And suddenly seeing it in number 4 after the Gemini Experiment 1206, which is an amazing model from Google, it's just mind-boggling for me, to be blunt. It's not better than the current Sonnet according to the LiveBench. If you went to the Either leaderboard, you will find DeepSeek actually disrowned Claudia's Sonnet 3.5, the new version, which is fantastic. It's just behind the O1 high model, which make it right now, according to Either, the new king of coding assistant. And looking to the artificial analysis benchmark, the DeepSeek also in terms of quality is the exact same as the Claude Sonnet 3.5 new. This model wasn't that good 2 months ago, and suddenly we have a model that's in the top 10 and the top 5 model. It's amazing. And look to the prices. Look at the prices. The DeepSeek version 3 is one of the cheapest model that you can run actually. So let's take a quick look for the pricing, okay? First of all, we have input price cache hit. I don't know what cache hit mean, but I think it's mean like caching 1 million token is less than 1 cent. And the input price for basically the normal input is 14 cents. Not that bad. And the out pricing for this model is 28 cents. So the total number for the entire 1 million output, 1 million input, and 1 million cached input is less than 50 cents. Okay, that's just this is dirt cheap. This is the lowest as it can be for a model with the quality that it say it will deliver. This is why I said this model could be the alternative for the Sonnet 3.5 in my opinion. Look at the usage that I have for this model, the Sonnet 3.5, just this few days, starting this year. I have more than 21 million token usage. This is insane. And the cost, $20. $20 in less than the month. The month is not even over. Okay, I have been using it in a normal amount, but the problem is this model is extremely pricey. It's extremely pricey. And one day I just can consume more than $5 just for talking to this model in terms of API. The good thing about this model in terms of benchmark, it doesn't say that it's better than the Sonnet at every single thing, but it say in some benchmark, it's better than the Sonnet 3.5, which is respectful. So let's talk about how we're gonna test it for free without paying anything to the DeepSeek API and without running this model on a local machine, because trust me, the requirement for this model is insane. To look into requirement for running this model locally is insane. I need an NVIDIA A180 gigabytes or equivalent. So you can't run it locally until you have an insane machine. The first one is Hyperbolic, but for some reason the Hyperbolic API is not working. Like I connected to Visual Studio Code Roo Cline and tested out, it gave me an error. And you can read here note, we are currently improving the performance of our DeepSeek version 3 API. So it's have an issue. Even if I have like almost $10, which is for free, you can get it the first time when you register inside Hyperbolic API. But the second way, which is brand new, is inside glhf, which I think it's short for good luck and have fun. We used to say this word when you start a new match in video games. You will find the DeepSeek actually is like the latest one deployed, but it's slightly pricey. And also the good luck and have fun API give you about $10 balance the first time that you register. It used to be like completely free, but right now switch it to give you a balance and you have to buy tokens and all the stuff like every single API provider. So we're gonna use the good luck and have fun API to test this model. To access the API information, go to your icon down below, select API settings. It will show you everything that you need. The first thing, the API key. The second one is the base URL. But right now we need the name of the model. This is really simple. I'm going to show you how to get it. It say here, note that model name will need to be appended with HF, for example, HF, the meta model ID. So let's go to Visual Studio Code, select whatever what you like, either Cline or Roo Cline, it doesn't matter, but I'm gonna stick to Roo Cline because I like it. In the API provider, select OpenAI compatibility. And there you can see I already have bought this model. This is the base URL, this is the API key, and finally this is the name of the model, HF DeepSeek AI/DeepSeek version 3, and hit done. We can say like something hello, see if it's working. Yep, it's working. This is amazing. Right now we can start using it as a coding assistant. I have this project and I also used it in the last video. I'm actually building this project in the company that I work for, and they allow me to show it in terms of the process of building using a coding assistant. It's kind of improved. I used only the Sonnet 3.5 and Roo Cline to build this project. It's have a lot of stuff that have improved since the last video that I have used it in. Like this page wasn't like this the last time that people have seen it. I would like to see if it can build in the back end and build in the front end and connect both of them. So we're gonna attempt to do one task at least using this model. Let's start with something simple. For example, this page is not working as it should be. For example, the add task is not working. The support for the Arabic is not working. There is no header over there and it needs some improvement. So I'm gonna work on it first, then go back to back in the API and see if it can build back in the API or not. In the Roo Cline, I'm gonna ask to basically add the header first for this page. Okay, after it's done, I have to give my opinion about the first run. And as you can see here, it added the header for the main page here in this simple page. I'm gonna remove also the stuff and add the languages. For the first run, I have few notes. First, it's agentic. It means like it's sync before it code, which is incredibly good. This is what make the Gemini 1206 amazing and the Sonnet 3.5 amazing. It's sync. It's plan what it will do before it do anything. Second, the API is extremely slow. Like when you're gonna use this glhf, you will find it's snail speed. So it's not for productivity, to be honest, but we're testing it out. Its really capability for coding is very good. Like it's know what the code is automatically, like JavaScript. I'm using XGS, AGSX. It didn't ruin anything. And here this is a step. It need to add this header from the component to this page, but it found out that the header is already existed inside this page at the line 7, but it's showing an error, and it tried to fetch it correctly and fix it. Then after that, the component exists and correctly imported, and it's tried to fix the issue that it found. And it say modify the page to include the header component at the top of the page. We used to do this stuff in the Sonnet 3.5, but the DeepSeek version 2 couldn't do this stuff for translation or switching languages. Here, when I asked it to basically support Arabic in the profile edit page, it completely broke the entire page. Like, it did something wrong with it, and I let it save this change so I can see it. But it turned out that's completely broken page. It seemed like it's not that aware of what it need to do. And to be honest, when I switch to the Sonnet 3.5, I had the same almost issue. It started to hallucinate and doing new logic and creating new files, and I kept rejecting the fixing that it's trying to do until I told it basically why you're not using the same logic in the other page like the main page. And I aha, I see the home page. Like, it's still dumb. Imagine the 3.5 is still doing stupid stuff like this. And it went ahead and started to fix it. And even after that, it got me an error. And I told it like this error should be fixed from importing. And it did give me the translation correctly this time. And this is showing you that both of this model have issues. Like, I really want to talk about the cons of using AI as a coding assistant, because this project is entirely built with an AI coding assistant. I didn't write a lot of code inside it. And trust me when I say this, like, this is the best large language model for coding right now. The Sonnet 3.5 is still doing dumb stuff and doing wrong decision, even if you give it full access to everything. For the last test in this video, I'm gonna test it in the backend API. I have this Prisma schema over here. It have the tables, the information that it need to understand what is going on, table that will work with. I told it, look at this Prisma schema and create logic inside this controller. I even created the controller for it to fetch jobs by categories, and also create function to filter jobs when it's fetching from the backend to the user, and use this Prisma connection and use this error message format response in the error response. And I am trying to control and steer it correctly, because this model is very slow, so steering it is gonna make it faster. So let's hit enter. Okay, for the backend, the experience is completely different. First of all, it's much faster. It's really good at coding logic for the backend, which I thought it will fail for some reason. So quickly, I made a fake category and added to the database, and I filtered it by the category, and I got it, and it's working. If I change the category right now, it will disappear because the category 2 it doesn't exist, but 1 does exist. For the filter, I can filter by a lot of stuff, like, for example, experience level, the type, the location, is it remote or not, false or true. So I selected, for example, the is remote, I want it false, and it's working right now. And if I selected is remote equal to true, it will not give me any data. And this is how the filter should work. It's in the query. I can basically make it look better in the front end. But surprisingly, in the back end logic, it's far better than the front end and much, much faster. Maybe because that I have given it a lot of stuff in the front end, and this is kind of my mistake, that the API is not able to consume all this element of JSX and the logic and modify it, because the API is really slow. But I'm gonna keep it for the back end. I feel like it's far better in the back end. I will say in the back end, it's on the same level of the Sonnet 3.5. I'm not kidding. It's really good. My final opinion about this model in total, it's really amazing. Like, the thinking process, the genetics feel that I get, it's the same thing from the Sonnet 3.5 model. But the API itself that we are using right now, it's for free, so it's slow. It have a limited rate. It's annoying, I have to be honest. But the model itself is fascinating, like the capability that it can do for an open source model that you can get right now from Hugging Face, but I don't think that any one of us can run it on their machine. because the requirement of it is intense. You can use the prices of the DeepSeek itself for the API. It's really cheap compared to the cloud pricing. And I think I'm gonna buy some tokens there and use it even more. And for the coming week, I'm gonna create a video about tips and tricks for using coding assistant and large language models to get better results and what to do and what not to do. But this video is taking time because it have a lot of information inside it. I need to create it in a way that people can easily remember. So if you are interested in this kind of subject and videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. It will make YouTube push these kind of videos even more to other people. So finally, thank you guys for watching and all the awesome comment that I got in the last videos. It's amazing. So once more, thank you for watching and see you in the coming video.